What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Neeks Sports. It's been a minute. Manchester United have made their first signing of the transfer window, their first official signing. We know things get done and they're not quite announced, but we've announced one. Tyrell Malacia is a Manchester United player. But we're not done there. We're going to dive deep into Man United's transfer window so far. We're going to be talking Arsenal as well. And those two teams actually collide because they're both battling out for Lisandro Martinez. Hit the like button, subscribe to the video. Let's go. Yes, guys, Manchester United have completed and officially announced the signing of Tyrell Malacia from Feyenoord for £13 million or £12.8 million, if you want to be specific, as the initial fee with a 1.5 million add-on clause, effectively around a total of about £13.5 million, 15 million euros or so. Sorry, £15 million, but yeah, but £15 million, 17 million euros or so, the whole package. And it's the first signing. It's not the signing that we actually probably expected it to be in terms of the first one. We know that Manchester United have been in for Frankie de Jong as the main signing. That was the original, that we wanted that to be the first signing, the marquee signing, the shirt seller, I guess. You know, when we announced the new shirt, which has been delayed for some reason, unbeknownst to us exactly why, but there may be some inklings as to why that's been delayed. But as a Man United fan, and one who's been here, done that, got the T-shirt, literally got some of the T-shirts, I don't really care in which order they come, as long as they come. Some people are, I wanted Frankie de Jong to be first. Yeah, it would have been good. It might have been something to like you hit the market, bang, Frankie de Jong, and then you're ready. But as long as the signings come in, and for me, the most important thing is that they come in this summer. That's like the most important thing. The next important thing for me is that they come in before before the season starts. Now, the season we know is an early season due to the World Cup being played in December. So the season starts, if I'm correct, is it the 4th of August? I want to say the 4th of August. Premier League fixtures 2022-23. 5th of August, yes. So it's about a month, literally a month from now, the season starts. And for me, we want every player in at that point. Now, if for some reason something else pops up in the last month of the window, so between August the 5th and September the 1st, I think the last day is, and it's an opportunity that maybe someone that you had in the pipeline but never really expected this summer, go and get him, of course. But in terms of your main signings, you want that all done before the season starts. And the earlier, the better, because of course we can go through into pre-season and get those players embedded into the style of play, the surroundings in general. But for me, you don't want to go into the season, especially some crucial positions, and you're still in and ahhing about whether or not this person's going to come in. Because especially if it is for like a crucial position, as I mentioned, then if that doesn't happen, that leaves you short for the whole season. If it's a little backup, a potential free transfer, someone who was never really planned to be a main starter, maybe a young player, whatever it might have been, and you're not able to do it. Like, let's say Liverpool, for example, in January. Liverpool wanted to get Fabio Carvalho over the line. They had to wait until the summer. That wasn't really going to affect them, because was he really good? Well, I think if he came in January, they would have loaned him back to Fulham anyway. So it wasn't really that important. If you remember, in the summer before last, we had some last day dealings, which was a mess because we were dragging on the Sancho deal for so long. But the likes of Palestri and Ahmad came in. Ahmad one actually didn't come through until January. Palestri came in, but it was never, those two were never planned to be starters. But because we didn't do other deals during the summer other than Van der Beek, the likes of Cavani, Tellers, who came in the end, who were panicked. Let's take it, they were panic buys because they weren't planned. It takes time for them to bed in. And we saw in that season when Cavani actually hit the ground running, we saw exactly the impact he could have. Big up yourself, Zach. I know you say you got to go. I might still be streaming. I'm going to be here for about an hour, so hopefully I can see you when you come back. Like the video on your way out. What kit am I going to get? I can't see myself buying another kit for Man United until I see some real change from our owners. One swallow doesn't make a summer. I need more than just this summer. Yeah, we've changed. Obviously, we've changed manager. We've changed structure. We've got football people in charge, like John Murta, I was going to say, or Darren Fletcher, of course. And of course, we've got a new CEO as well. And if that kind of thing continues in terms of them making decisions or putting people in place who are experts in those fields or professionals in those fields, then it may come to a point where I say, all right, I'm going to buy some new kits. I haven't bought a kit in a while. The most recent kit that I bought is probably this kit, which was about, I can't remember what year this was. Maybe 2015, I think around the year like Memphis Depay and that came. Every other kit I've got since then has been gifted to me without actually asking. So I can't see myself buying a kit anytime soon. But we digress. But yeah, hopefully you'll be back by time and we'll still be talking about Manchester United. So what kind of business are we looking to do this summer? Now Malacia's in, that will be a left back. For me, Telles has to go. Now, I had a bit of a wish list. It was a wish list, but a bit of I said, basically, this is the summer that I would like. Or if this happened this summer, I will take it. That was my real answer, because I didn't really have a real preference about, I need this player for that position, this player for that position. It's a case of Ten Hag's the manager, let him get who he wants. But I know that there's also positions that need strengthening. And listen to the players that we were linked with, and players available. This is the list I came up with. So first, in terms of the outs, so I said I wanted Grant, Jones, Bailly, Matic, Pogba, Mata, Lingard, Cavani, and Pereira out. That's 9 players. Now, as it stands, 7 of them are gone. As of today, we got a here we go from Fabrizio saying that Andreas Pereira has agreed a deal to join Fulham on about £9 to £10 million upfront free fee with 3 million in add-ons. Listen, that's good business. He was at Flamengo. I'm not sure what he done, to be honest. Flamengo had said they would agree, an option of 10 million, and then they kind of reneged on that and said, we only want to buy 50% of his rights. And it's like, forget that nonsense. And fortunately, Fulham are able to take him off our hands at 10 million. And, I hope he does well. It's not about whether I don't hate him or anything. He's just not good enough for Man United. He had enough chances, and he's not good enough for Manchester United. But we take a good fee. When it comes to the others, Grant, Matic, Pogba, Mata, Lingard, Cavani, they're all on free transfers. All we do is recoup in terms of or potential wages that we may have paid on them. Like the likes that Lingard wanted to be paid 150,000 a week. Pogba was on 300,000 a week. Mata, they were on 150. Cavani would have been on about 200,000. So it's a lot of money saved. The opportunity cost of spending that money, we can now use it for something else. But we don't get a transfer fee for that. But we get 10 million for Pereira. And then the other 2 are Bailly and Phil Jones. Now, Phil Jones, I don't know how he's still here. I don't know how he is still here. That man is like, no disrespect, he's like a cockroach. How has he survived? He survived manager after manager, transfer window after transfer window. People have come in, people have left, people have retired, people have started their careers, and Phil Jones is still here. You have to admire the man. At this point, you have to admire the man. I don't know how he's done it. But nonetheless, Phil Jones is still a Man United player. Unfortunately, I don't know who's going to buy him. That's the real question. Who would buy Phil Jones at this stage? And yeah, you're going to say probably no one, which means he's probably going to be here. Do we loan him out potentially? I guess that's always an option. But I haven't seen any talk about that. Fortunately, I have seen talk about Eric Bailly. Again, it's Fulham. Fulham looking at Eric Bailly, potential loan with an option to buy. I was like, listen, make an obligation and he's yours. I'll even pay half his wages to make an obligation. At the end of the season, you buy him permanently. But I get it. With his injury issues, no one's going to want that obligation. We get a centre back in, we'll have 4 centre. If we get, Martinez in, as we'll talk about a bit later, you'll have Maguire, Varane, Lindelof, and Martinez. We don't need more than 4 centre backs. We have to be realistic. Even with 5 subs, you're not going to be making substitutions for your centre backs very, very often. It's going to be very, very rare that your centre backs get subbed. You also want to have a consistent, especially 2 centre backs that are learning their trade, are learning their partnership, should I say, more than a trade together. So it's not a position that you're going to rotate a lot. We don't need 5 centre backs. With Phil Jones there, that's 6 centre backs. Bailly needs to move on. He needs to move on. I don't know why he believes that he's going to have an opportunity to be first choice at Man United. I don't care how good Bailly is or isn't. He can't stay fit. And if you're not available, then you're not an option. That's the problem. People will say, oh, yeah, he's been fit for so long. Yeah, because he hasn't played. The moment he plays, he's out. So Bailly, hopefully, he's going to move on. And that's my wish list. Now that Malacia's come in, for me, Tellez got to go. Tellez has to, fullback was an area of concern, but I was being realistic. I was saying, all right, 5 signings. 4 main signings, Eriksen on a free. 2 defenders, 2 midfielders, a forward. And potentially Eriksen on a free. That was my kind of wish list, sorry. So who I actually had on my list was Urian Timber, because we know Erik ten Hag wanted him. Pau Torres, because we know the club wanted him. Ruben Neves, who's a favorite of mine. I really like him for seasons. I've wanted us to go and get Ruben Neves, but there's never been any real strong links. There's been loose links and murmurs and rumors, but no real strong links from any of the real, trusted journalists, the likes of David Ornstein, Laurie Whitwell, Fabrizio Romano. Haven't really spoken about that in any real depth. So that's really a wish from me. And I think with his passing ability and his defensive capabilities as a midfielder, it's something that would do us great. Would actually do us great. But we have to be realistic. I don't think that's happening. I haven't heard anything really this summer. But he was on my list. Frankie de Jong, of course, and we'll talk about that in a bit more depth. And I also had Darwin Núñez. Now, the Darwin Núñez one for me, I've only seen him when he played in the Champions League. And I was like, okay, we need a striker, I guess. I wanted Nkunku. I was like, go and get Nkunku. I like the way he plays, his dynamism, his versatility, his fluidity in terms of the way that he attacks, being able to play as more like a support striker off the main man, out wide as well, in a 2, as a 1, whatever it is. I think he would have complemented our other attackers in a great way. But looking at the way that, not that Ten Hag is stuck in his way, but the way that he has played in recent seasons, his striker's usually more of a target man, hold up the play and link it that way. Not that, I'm not going to say Nkunku can't do that, I don't know, but we haven't really seen him do that. He's had Sebastian Haller, that's Ten Hag over at Ajax. He's had, I think it's Poulsen, was it? Their striker before that. He has played Tadic as a false 9 as well, so he's got that versatility in his styles, but he's generally had a focal point in his attack. Hence why he was willing to keep Ronaldo. And we'll probably get onto Ronaldo in a bit as well. Big up Ian, inactive Neeks. I know I've been inactive on this channel. I've been active in other places, but I have been inactive on this channel, and I hope to be more active as the transfer window heats up. He also says, I think De Jong and Donny are going to be our number 6s for the season. That's interesting. By the time this video is finished, we're going to go like a little formation and we're going to talk about where we think players may fit. I would say I'll be surprised if Donny's one of our 6s. That's what I would say first and foremost. But we'll get back to that. So yeah, Tellez for me goes. Luke Shaw and Malacia battle it out for the left back position. There was talk obviously earlier in the window about Wan-Bissaka leaving and Dalot being one of the 2 options that he would have if he could have been replaced. Again, I can't see it. I know there's been loose talks of Dumfries. I can't see it. I'm not gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I can't see those. Okay, so what was said was Wan-Bissaka has an opportunity to impress during pre-season. So are you telling me he might impress or he might impress or not impress during preseason, and then and by the time preseason season finished, we're talking just before the start of August, then we'll be like, all right, let's go and get a right back. Or have we got one already in the pipeline and we're just waiting to trigger it? Because then at that point, you're like, all right, let's sell Wan-Bissaka. Who's he going to? How much? Like that deal really needs to be in the pipeline already, waiting to trigger it. And if you're just waiting on a bad performance in preseason before you move him on, move him on. Just move him on. Because a bad performance here and a good performance there shouldn't be the determining factor. But I think Wan-Bissaka will be here this season. I think it's unrealistic to expect us to just do an inordinate amount of business. We have to be realistic. This club is not going to be fixed in one summer. It's really not. And then the midfield. Actually, we talk about the forward line. So of course, we lost Cavani. He went. Mata's gone. Lingard's gone. Martial's back for now anyway. Again, we have to see whether or not we get any offers in for him. And it looks like Eriksen might be coming in. Now, Eriksen for me is a shrewd signing. It's a shrewd signing, and one that I'm glad we are doing. It looks like it's pending a medical. He has to pass that, and he's a Man United player. And his ability to play both as an 8, a 10, and even off the left, like he has for Spurs in the past, in that creative free behind the striker, any kind of creativity behind the striker, I think is very useful. He's a different kind of player to Bruno Fernandes, though they may play similar positions. They're not the same. You can have 2 10s and do completely different things. Chelsea play with 2 10s behind their striker. One's Mason Mount and one's Timo Werner. Completely different players. So you can have. I'm not saying we're going to play a 3-4-3. I'm saying you can have 2 players who are number 10s, but one can be a goal scorer more so, like a Bruno Fernandes. He's a high frequency goal scorer, and you got Eriksen, who's more of a creator. Not that Bruno can't create, and not that Eriksen can't score, but you can actually have both of them in the team. Again, we'll go into how that might look later on, but I think that's a good signing. Once that crosses the line, and it gives us more options. He's a younger version of Mata, who I think has been grossly underused by Manchester United since he came. He was a back-to-back Chelsea Player of the Year, winning Champions League in Europa. No, he didn't win Europa League. He joined us before in the season that Chelsea actually won. No, he did win the Europa League. Yeah, 2012 Champions League, 2013 won the Europa League, and then he joined us in January 2014. Back-to-back Player of the Year for Chelsea, and we haven't got the best out of him. And hopefully we don't make that same mistake with Eriksen. Now, of course, Cristiano Ronaldo drops a bombshell and says he wants to leave Man United. And that just creates a whole another problem, because you're like, well, you were going to be the main striker. We wanted Darwin Núñez, but we couldn't get him. So we're like, all right, we'll make do with Ronaldo as the main guy this season. 1 more year. Martial can rotate in that position. Rashford, if things really get bad in that position. And then there's always the option, as Ian just points out, Bruno in the false 9. But with Ronaldo gone, now you're like, so Martial staying. And Martial's the main strike. I mean, I'm saying he's gone. He's not gone. He's still here. But in all intents and purposes, Ronaldo will not be here this next season. Like, I always say, do what the manager wants. What's best for the club? If the manager's like, we can't replace him. The person I want is not available now. We haven't done enough scouting. Therefore, he has to stay for the better of the club. Cool. Then you keep him. And he has to suck it up and play. He signed a 2-year contract. You honor your 2-year contract. But if it's a case of, well, it's going to cause issues in the dressing room and therefore it's actually going to be a detriment to the team, then you're going to have to move him on. And it puts us in the position. What do we do with that striker role? And you got Martial, Rashford, and then the option of Bruno Fernandes as a false 9. That don't infuse me. Martial is inconsistent. Rashford is inconsistent, and he can't play. Neither of them are number 9s. Let's be honest. Martial can do it as a load man better than Rashford, but neither of them are number 9s. And then Bruno's a false 9. Yeah, it can work. It can work. As I said, he played Tadic as a false 9 in their run to the Champions League semi-final. And you could have Eriksen behind that, and that's an easy way to get both of them in the team and in positions that favour them best. But it's a risk. It's a risk. We talk about Bruno as false 9, but Bruno's never played false 9. I don't mean one game here, one game there, a spell in a match. Bruno has not played as a false 9. So we're going to go into the season like, Bruno, you're the false 9, make it work. It could work. It could. But it's risky. It's a big, big risk. And it's a problem. Because I was thinking, all right, Eriksen, you got Bruno. Bruno can go out wide at times. Eriksen can play in the 10, or Eriksen can play in a, you can play 2-8s if you get a DM. Like one might come off the bench, whatever it might be. Now, if you're saying Bruno's the false 9, then Eriksen's playing every game. I can't be going back to McFred in one way, shape, or form. Because even if De Jong's there and Eriksen's not playing every game, then you end up with McTominay and Fred again in the midfield. That's too much. I can't do it again. That striker position, I don't think long term or even for this season can be filled by Bruno Fernandes. For a game here, a game there, yeah, maybe. But we need a forward. We need a forward desperately if Ronaldo goes. And it looks like he might be going. Now, Anthony, of course, is the one that has been spoken about. If Ronaldo goes, it's a must. It's a must. We don't want to be desperate and end up paying Ajax well over the odds. But we need to act with urgency. We need to act with urgency. Fortunately, the players we are going for, which is a benefit, are players that has already worked under Ten Hag. So the bedding in process into what he wants them to do isn't going to be strenuous. Isn't going to be long. Of course, they still have to bed into how the team, in terms of their teammates and the league, etc. But if Ronaldo leaves, and some people are, Ronaldo's done, Ronaldo's finished, Ronaldo made us worse. If Ronaldo leaves and we do not replace him, we are effed. That's just a fact. It's a fact. He has to be replaced. You can't just think, well, we're going to go with Martial, Rashford, and Sancho and run it back. I say run it back. Sancho wasn't there, but run it back to the last full season of Oli or lockdown Oli. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. We ain't going nowhere quickly with that front line. Inconsistent. I'm hoping Sancho comes through. We don't know what Sancho we're going to get. We don't know. So for me, if Ronaldo leaves, a forward is imperative. As it stands, it's not the main necessity. For me, 2 midfielders is a necessity. I mentioned Neves. I can't see it happening. But the De Jong one is it's one that we need. It's one that we need, but it's a tricky deal. And I'm going to get into why it's a tricky deal in a bit. Some news did come out today about his contract situation at Barcelona. Let me go through some of these comments. Ian says, my strikers are killing Greenwood, now Ronaldo, and we are left with Martial, the bum. Bruno, false 9, and Donny. Of course, you mentioned Donny. You know what? My bad. It might not have to be Fred, McTominay and Fred. Donny's an option. Donny played as a number 10 under Ten Hag when he was at Ajax. That's why I can't see him play as a 6. And the number 10, he was like a false 9. He was making those late runs more so than even what Bruno does. He wasn't scoring at the same rate as Bruno did. Actually, from open play, he may have actually. I'm not 100% sure. But he was making those late runs, getting on the end of headers. He's 6 foot plus, etc. into the box. So I can't see him going from playing as a number 10 under Ten Hag to now playing as a number 6. Like that was a number 10 second striker to now a defensive midfielder number 6. I can't see it. But that De Jong transfer is so crucial. If we don't get De Jong, I don't know what we're gonna do. We'll get onto that in a second. Big at yourself, Ian, for the comments. Make sure you hit the like buttons. Reefa Lefunk says, I need what's up? You're my favorite football terrace member. Finally checking out your channel. Thank you very much for that. For those kind words, Reefa. Thank you very much. And hopefully I can do some more content for you. You had a question just after. I'm gonna bring up the donation. Thank you very much. Factos says, Neeks, do you think these jokers of owners will get Dybala when PR7 leaves? Can you not call the GOAT PR7? It's CR GOAT. That's what we call him here. CR GOAT. You know what? Ian, sorry, just Ian says, I'll get back to that. I like Dybala, but he pissed me off. Remember the summer just before we got Bruno? So we got Bruno in the January 2020. Yeah, January 2020. And in the summer, we went in for Dybala. I think Juve wanted to get rid of him, or his agent said he was available, whatever it was. I went in for him. It was late into the transfer window. I remember I did a video on it as the news broke. But basically, he didn't really care about playing for Man United in the sense of, oh, that's a nice project, a nice club I want to join. Well, sell me the project. It was all about how much can you pay me? How much can you pay? That's all he cared about. How much can you pay me? I would like to know what his mindset is now. I'd like to know what his mindset is. Because if it's all about going where the money is best, then I don't want him. Quality footballer, but we can't be doing this thing where players are purely signing for the bag, going where the money. It's failed time and time again. We can't do it. It could work. Like, he could produce for us. He could, but for how long? When things get tough, is he going to be digging deep to try and get us out of it? Or is it, well, I'm getting paid, so it doesn't really matter? That's why I'm not infused by the Dybala signing. Nothing to do with him as a player. As a player, he's quality. And yeah, if Ronaldo leaves, then Dybala comes in. Dybala's not Ronaldo. Dybala's not Ronaldo. How old is Dybala? Because I know he burst onto scenes as a youngster, but I don't think he's that young anymore. 28. So he's in his prime. He should be in his prime now. So it's a good age. Dybala's not out and out striker, is he? He can play there. He can play there, but he's not an out and out striker. He's a bit more all round. He'll score and he'll create a good rate. Let me see what he did last. What did he do last year or the last couple of seasons at Juve? So last year, 10 goals, 5 assists. The season before, 4 goals, 3 assists in 20 games. 11 goals and 6 the year before. 5 and 4 the year before that. 22 and 5 the year before Ronaldo joined. He'll give you double figures. He'll give you double figures. Ronaldo got 18. If we're looking to replace goals, our highest scorer needs to be aiming for 20 in the league. He may not get 20. He may not get it, but he needs to be aiming for 20 in the league. Is Dybala going to give you 20? Now, of course, if he don't give you 20, then you're going to need 15 from Rashford, 10 from Martial and Sancho and a few assists, etc. Bruno in there as well. But your main striker, your main goal scorer, you want to be getting 20 in this league. You got Haaland coming in. You've got Darwin Núñez coming in. Salah does his thing. Kane does his thing. Well, Jesus is over at Arsenal. We'll see what happens there. Like, Kane and Son. Salah and listen. I know we're not competing for the league, but if Ronaldo leaves, it's a bit poverty up front. I'm not gonna lie. The striker market ain't the strongest right now. It's not the strongest. Thank you very much for the super chat and the contribution. Is Dybala? You said that I think Dybala can play the tactics role, the false 9 as well, but I don't want him. But I still don't want him mercenary. Yeah, I agree. He can play that role very well, but it's about his mindset. What is he coming here for? That's what I want to know. What are you coming here for? If we do sign him again, I'll trust Ten Hag. I don't believe we're going to make any signing this summer that is purely based on monetary value, i.e., the players only coming here for money. Scamacca and Belotti. I don't want Belotti. I've seen enough of Belotti to not want him. I ain't seen enough of Scamacca, so I will defer that in terms of I will trust the people that have seen him. But Belotti, seen enough of him, don't want him. He stay in Italy, do your thing there. I don't want him. Ian also says Donny played as a number 6 in his last season. Okay, again, I'll take your word for it. Most of what I've seen of him was in a number 10, but I'll take your word for it. Yeah, I'll defer it there. What I do think, however, and again, probably later on I'll go back to it in terms of formation, but I think Fred will have a very important role to play this season. I'll leave it there for now. Frankie de Jong, because this is the crucial transfer for Manchester United and for Eric Ten Hag. It's the main one. It's the one that Ten Hag wants more than any. And it's the one that is the most important because our midfield has been poverty this season. I'm sorry, in the last few seasons even. We've been dragging Matic through the ringer to get some solidity in that midfield, even when we had Pogba. Even when Rashford and Bruno were dragging us out of holes, we were bypassing the midfield to do it. It was a McFred pivot. Like, it has not been good. It's not been good. And there's been some news that came out today from Sport talking about Frankie de Jong's contract. Now, I'm going to read it as they've written it. We can break it down. So, other than, the first few paragraphs talks about, whether he should have done better, how well he's played in the last few years. It says, and this actually, well, Sports reporting this, but it comes through Marca, one of the two, the Real Madrid-based newspaper, Madrid-based newspaper, should I say. Says Barca will have to pay him huge quantities over the last 4 years of his deal. So it says De Jong is set to earn 88 million euros during the last 4 years of his deal, including variables. Now, we're going to do some calculations live on there. So if we said 88 million euros in pounds is 75 million pounds. 76. So 76 million divided by over the last 4 years, divided by 4 is 19 million pounds a year. Divided by 52, that's 365,000 a week. So including variables, he's due about 365,000 pounds a week. He wouldn't be paid that weekly because you'll get like a lump sum bonus here or whatever, but we'll break that down. Big up Abraham. Hello, Neeks. Big up, bro. One sign I look forward to seeing at Man United is Christian Eriksen. Yeah, I do. He's a quality player, 30 years old. And in this day and age, 30 is not old. Back in the days, you're like, 30, we only want to give a 1-year deal. He's going to get a 3-year deal. And I think it'll be a very useful signing for us as well. So we're talking 365,000 pounds a week. On average, he's owed over the next 4 years with Barcelona contract. That includes a 1.2 million if Barca get to the final of the Champions League, 1 million if they win it, so that's 2.2, 750,000 if they win La Liga, so that's touching out 3 million, and 250 if they win the Copa del Rey, so that is 3.2 million. If they win it all, in the case of win it all, his bonuses will be 12.8 million. If he plays over 60% of the games in a season, he gets 2 million extra per season. So it's a lot of money that is potentially sitting on the table. When he joined, and the reason why there's so much in that, when he joined in 2019, he was due to get 40 million euros per season. So again, let's break that down. So say 14 million per season, 14 euros in pounds is 12. So 12 is 230,000 pounds per week. That's what he was due. But because of their financial irregularities, all the Barcelona players, if you remember back then, they agreed to a 12% pay cut. So every single player, Messi, Piqué, everything, Alba, including him. So he only got 12.3 million that season. So therefore, he was owed another 2 million, give or take. He then extended his deal, same similar amount of money he's owed, but extended the deal by an extra 2 seasons. So instead of ending it in 2024 when he signed, it's now his deal runs until 2026. And they deferred some of the payments. So the money they owed him at the end of 2019 was deferred. What he should have got, which was 14 million in the next season, 2019-20, he only got 3 million. So he was owed 2 million from the first year and 11 million from the second year. Wait, are we deep in this? 2 million from the first year, then 11 million. He got 3 million euros only in his second year. The next season, he got 9 million. So that's still short of the 14 million. So over 2 seasons, he only earned 12 million, which is less than what he should be earning in 1 year. Listen, this is crooked. This is crooked. 20 next season, so this season coming up, 2022-23, he should be earning 18 million, which is double what he earned got in last year, which was 9 million. But he should be earning double, which is to obviously offset the payments that he's missed in previous years, plus a 3 million euro bonus for actually staying that long, defer a loyalty bonus, and obviously deferring payments, etc. And then the season after, he should be earning 18 million again, plus 10 million in loyalty bonus. Meaning that season, the season after next, he should be earning nearly 30 million euros, about 25 million pounds. Barca can't afford to pay him. And that is why they want him to take this pay cut. But by taking the pay cut, and it's not deferred, it's pay cut. We are taking this pay cut. We don't owe you no money. We're going to pay you less if you really want to stay. He's missing out on a hell of a lot of money. I ain't done all the calculations. We're talking 27 million in 2 years, 2 seasons from now. We're talking 18 million next season. So we're saying give or take 45 million. Give or take 45 million in 2 years. They want him to cut that. They want him to cut that by nearly 50%. Now, I don't care how rich you are. Millionaire, billionaire, or a pauper. No one ain't leaving 45 million pounds, as I say, on the table. You're not doing it. You're not doing it. Now, forget the money that he could earn this year and next year as a base, the 14 million salary that he signed. He's already owed money. Now, if he leaves, I don't know the legal ramifications, but I'm assuming if he leaves, he don't get that money. And I think that's probably what's holding up this deal so much. Big up yourself, Zach. I think that's what is holding the deal up so much. He wants guarantees from Barca, either right now, give my money, or even if I leave, I'm still going to get that money. At the worst, I'll take a pay cut. So from here on in, I will earn less. But the money you owe me, I still need that. All we know is there's a lot of financial issues right now, Barca, that for me is holding up this thing. It's more than that, just you don't want to leave. It's more than that. He wants his money. Now, it might be a case of, Barca, I want my money. Man United, I need my money. So if Barca ain't give it to me and you want it, if you want me, then you need to give me the money. I don't know. I don't know if that's the case, but the fact that he wants his money is for me one of the sticking points right now in this deal. a potential workaround, I'm thinking the way that, if you look at the way that the Haaland deal, you can see all the deals I got running across the screen now. The Haaland deal says 60 million euros, so 60 million pounds, sorry. Real Madrid, I mean, Man City paid about 130 million overall for Haaland, 60 million in transfer fee to Borussia Dortmund, and about another 60 million in agent fees, part to his father and part to Mino Rayola's agency. Obviously, he's passed away now. Haaland and the agency also got another 10 million from Dortmund. So from the 60 million that Man City actually paid to Dortmund, Dortmund paid 10 million on that in agent fee. So a workaround for all of the young thing could be okay. Barca cut the transfer fee by 50%. So instead of us paying you what they're saying, it's like 50 million up front or something like that, and then 20 million in add-ons, we'll pay you 25 million. The other 25 million goes to De Jong to offset the money you owe him. We still keep the add-ons, the other 20 million that performance-related add-ons, and then we will pay De Jong his 14 million a year base salary, which is about 300,000 a week. Because I don't think we have an issue paying the 300,000 a week, but there's no way we can be duped into paying what Barca owe De Jong. Now, this is a bit of an assumption. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but we do know that, like PK and like a lot of the other Barca players, De Jong is owed money. And I don't think he's leaving until he gets guarantees of that money or the money itself, which in the end is a detriment to Manchester United. Because where do we go from there? Where do we go if we can't get the midfielder, the main midfielder that Ten Hag wants, the midfielder he's been chasing all summer? And if we don't get him, what do we go without a midfielder? It brings you back to the first one. Go and get Ruben Neves. Go and get Ruben Neves. And if the Young's still available and can still come later in the summer, go and do it. But we cannot start next season on the 7th of August with Fred in that middle. We can't even start it with Donny and Fred. Donny and we can't. We need big change. We need big change. So go and get something done. We'll see how the preseason goes. Erhan, big up yourself. Tottenham fan, obviously, Man United hater by default now because we signed the greatest ever player in Christian Eriksen. He says Eriksen is washed. He's going to flop. Do you really believe that, Erhan? Do you really believe that? I don't think you do. I've spoken to at least four Spurs fans. Well, yeah, four Spurs fans, like one-to-one, so to speak. Some of them in group chats, but in that kind of personal way. And they all love Eriksen. They all wanted Eriksen back at Spurs this summer. And they've all wished him well, as long as it doesn't affect Spurs. And they all think he's going to do well. So is that what you really think? That's what I would know. You tell us. The public need answers. Is that what you really think? Big up yourself. Jerry says, I like Eriksen, but the signing still scares me because of his heart problems. That's why it's concerning. You just have to trust the medical departments who have said that he's available to play. I guess not much more we can do. I'm not saying we shouldn't think about it because it's just a human nature to think about it, but we have to accept that if he passes the medical, you hope that such issue doesn't resurface. And the reality is, of course, he's at risk because it's happened already, but it could happen to any player. When it happened to Eriksen, we weren't expecting it. When it happened to like Mwamba all those years ago, we weren't expecting it. It's one of the possibilities in life, but we hope it doesn't. We hope it doesn't affect him. So we can see the transfers going across the bottom of the screen. Haaland, 50 million. Calvin Phillips, 42 million. Darwin Núñez, 64 million. Bissouma, 25 million. Richarlison, 50 million. Vieira, 30 million to Arsenal. Turner, 5 million. Malacia, 30 million. And Gabriel Jesus, 45 million. I didn't want to talk about Gabriel Jesus. Unfortunately, Ramsey couldn't be here to talk about it with me. Gabriel Jesus, for me, is a good signing. It's a good signing for Arsenal. But I do think, in true Arsenal fashion, They're getting carried away. It's a good signing for Arsenal because Arsenal ain't going to win the league. They're not challenging for the league this season. But I think that's as far as it goes. He will get them back. He will help them challenge for top 4 again. If he scores 15 goals in the league next season, he's had a great season. All this talk about 20, he's only scored 14 for Man City. And yeah, he didn't start every game, but look who had behind him: Foden, Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, Riyad Mahrez. Like, he had a supply line. Cancelo, he had a supply line, and he's missed a hell of a lot of chances. So I think Arsenal fans do need to temper their expectations. There's a reason why after 2018 World Cup, where I support Brazil, you can see it up there. He had to move from the striker position. He couldn't do it. The man didn't score a goal in 2018 World Cup, and he was one of the main reasons why Brazil got knocked out in the quarterfinal stage. Every time he got subbed off and Firmino came on, the game changed. The best players were able to play around Firmino in a way that Gabriel Jesus didn't allow. And then when they won the Copa America in 2019, where was he playing? I think he may have ended up top goal scorer. Where was he playing? He was playing off the right. And he's been playing off the right for Brazil ever since. And for Man City, a lot of his best work comes off the right. He'll score a hat-trick here and a hat-trick there. And although I don't say a hat-trick here and there, but he score a lot of goals against a weak team here or in a Champions League group stage. It's cool, but he's not the guy that I think people think he is just because he's won four Premier Leagues and he played for Man City and Pep. There's a reason why everyone says, they've won the league without a striker. Yeah, they had a striker. He's been there for a minute. They won the league without a striker because Pep couldn't trust the striker they had. Yeah, he's got useful elements, and back end of the season, they brought him in to change it up a bit, switch it up. But across the 38 games, he's yet to be trusted in the Premier League. He's going to be Arsenal's main striker. I think he'll help them challenge for top 4. I can't see much more than that. I really can't. And I say much more than that. Of course, the Premier League is the highest level that they're playing at, which means if he's helping them challenge for top 4 in the Premier League, then he's probably going to be very useful in the Europa League if he plays many games. And you got obviously the cup games as well, but Nketiah's there. They're going to want to play both of them. He's going to be hungry because the World Cup's coming up, and he's going to want a spot, one in the squad, of course, but he's going to want to start. He's going to want to play, and I guess it's a battle between him and Richarlison. Right now, Richarlison's leading the race for that number 9 spot at Brazil. I can't see what Jesus is going to do between now and December to change what has been working over the last few years. I think his best bet for Brazil is to be on the right. And even then, Rafinha is another player that Arsenal tried to get. Is further ahead in that position. But he's going to be hungry. And for Arsenal, that can be good. That's the only, that it can't be a bad thing that you're going to have a hungry player. So I think it's a good signing for Arsenal, but I just think they need to just calm down a little bit with what they're expecting. But listen, before we wrap up, I want to do this little team mock-up where we might land this season. So we know Dean Henderson's gone. So David De Gea is definitely going to be the goalkeeper. I mean, Luke Shaw's probably going to start the season injury pending, but I don't know. So I'm going to put Malacia there for now because it is a new signing. See, if you got Malacia, I will be more tempted to play Wan-Bissaka because Malacia is a very attacking, forward-thinking fullback. Dalot is also that. And we don't have a natural defensive midfielder. We're not going to have one. We're not going to buy one. It doesn't look like we're buying one. So I think it leaves us very much exposed. But Dalot is currently the incumbent of that position. There's no talk about Dalot leaving, where there is talk about Wan-Bissaka. So I'll put him there for now. We'll have Varane over here. And hopefully, if we can beat Arsenal to Lisandro Martinez, which we should be able to. He's an ex-Ajax player. We're a bigger club. We've got his ex-manager. There's really no reason. There's really no reason why we should not get Martinez. I don't know what you lot think. Now, I hope that this De Jong deal goes through. If so, I think he'll be playing in a double pivot, I think realistically, with Fred. I think De Jong is going to be dropping deep to pick up the ball. I agree with that. But he's not a defensive midfielder by trade. Like, I don't have the stats on him, but he's not going to, he's not the one you expect to be running around getting in tackles. He can dictate play from deep, getting the ball, carrying it forward, getting off the centre backs, carrying it forward. But if you're expecting him to be running around like Kante, it's not going to happen, which I think is why Fred is most likely to play next to him. I can't see Eriksen and De Jong, Bruno and De Jong being a pivot. Donny is an option, but again, Donny's not going to be doing the work that someone like a Fred would, which lends me to believe, unless you get someone like a Neves, Fred and McTominay are both going to have crucial roles next to a more creative player, dictator in that position. Now, if you want to play Donny, yeah, cool. Donny and Fred. Donny and McTominay, good. If you want to play Eriksen there, potential. But I can't see De Jong being the main ball winner, should I say, in that midfield. So that's why I'm going to go with those two. Now, there are options. So first, I mean, should I put Ronaldo? Should I put Ronaldo as a striker? I'll put Ronaldo as a striker for now. All that could change. I tell you what, we don't know what's happening on the. So if Ronaldo stays, I don't think Anthony's coming. I don't think he's coming, which means that this is actually an option. You could have Bruno Fernandes from the right, Eriksen in the middle, and Sancho off the left. Now, the only thing I'd say about this team is it lacks pace. Sancho's not very quick. Malacia is, Dalot is. Bruno's not slow. Sancho Bruno's not slow. But you'd probably want one of these players to have a bit of some express pace. Maybe. Especially as Ronaldo's not express either. But that's an option. So you've got the technical players, Sancho, Eriksen, De Jong, Bruno. Bruno is reasonably technical. You can rein in some of his extravagant passes and rushes of blood, but the man can pass the ball. He can play as an 8, he can play as a 10. So you got Fernandes, Eriksen, Sancho, De Jong as your technical hub. Ronaldo, the goal scorer, flying fullbacks, Fred, Martinez, and Varane as your defensive unit, should I say, more than anything. I like that. I'm not gonna lie. I like that. I don't want to get too gassed, but I like it. It looks. Can you not see that? Miss. Probably. You know what I need to do. I know what I need to do. I'll do it after maybe. What I'll do, I'm gonna save this one. I'm gonna download that one as that one that I made. But I like that. I think you've got a good balance. I think you got a good balance going on there. I'm not getting excited, don't get me, but I like it. Another option, so you've got, because there's players that we ain't missed out. Let's say Ronaldo does go. Now, of course, you could go Martial. You could have Bruno Fernandes. Why is it not coming out? You could have Bruno Fernandes in the 10. And it could end up being Anthony off the right, Sancho on the left. Still got De Jong and Fred. Potentially at right back, that could be Wan-Bissaka. You can see Maguire's not in the starting lineup. And hopefully that remains that way. But he's an option. Sancho off the left. Or equally, we could have Sancho off the right. And the forgotten man, Marcus Rashford off the left. Marcus Rashford off the left. It could be Eriksen in the 10. And Bruno Fernandes as the false 9 striker. It's a possibility. It's an option. And I think if you're going to have a false 9, then one of your wingers especially has to be one who is has more of a goal scoring instinct. Your number 10, which effectively would be Bruno Fernandes, isn't going to be the one running on. None of these three midfielders here are going to be running beyond him, which is an issue if you're going to have a false 9. When Liverpool players a false 9, for example, Wijnaldum sometimes used to run past. When Man City have their false 9, Gundogan would run past. None of these three midfielders here would run past Bruno. So your wide players are going to have to be the ones like Mane, like Salah, have to be the ones running in. So Rashford definitely would because he likes he's more of a goal scoring forward. If you had Antony or Sancho, they're more creative. Antony likes to stay wide. That's the only thing. So obviously you got Bruno there and you got Rashford as the main kind of attacking goal scoring threat in that team. But as I said earlier in the video, now actually before I do that, let me change formation. So we could go over 4-3-3. I can't. The thing is, I just can't see De Jong playing as a lone 6. I can't see it. But let's just say he did, for argument's sake. What would you go with? Fred? I mean, Eriksen and Bruno in the 10? No, in the 8. I can't. That's way too. Again, you need someone to break up the play. You definitely need someone to break up the play. On top of that, however, as I said earlier, Eriksen can play wide left. I've seen him play wide left for Spurs. Coming off that, obviously you have Malacia kind of bombing up that wing, or Luke Shaw as the case may be. Let me put Luke Shaw in there. I haven't put him into any of the teams yet. And Eriksen coming on the inside. You'd hope that if Ronaldo can stay and Sancho on the right, it's another option. It's another option. These signings here, we're talking Martinez, De Jong, Eriksen. It allows us. I don't like this one, by the way. I don't like this De Jong sitting alone in the 10. I keep forgetting. It's my bad, isn't it? It's not my fault, but it's my bad. I keep forgetting Donny, innit? I keep forgetting Donny. So I'll throw him in now. But I think those 3 signings, De Jong, Martinez, Eriksen, Malacia. I still want one more. It might be Antony if Ronaldo goes. Hopefully, it could be another midfielder, Ruben Neves. Could be a fullback. But it allows us to just play in different ways. It allows us a bit more versatility in terms of formations, in terms of tactics. The style will be where it is, but base formations could be different. We spoke about him earlier. Paulo Dybala. Why not? Why not? I don't like this formation. Not with De Jong sitting. It's making me itch. Ew, what's that? It's the wrong one. It's making me itch. Yeah, Dybala. It's an option. Again, I spoke about it earlier. I like this one. This point. What about James Garner in the holding midfield position? So if we went back to the 4-3-3, which one was it? We went back to the 4-3-3, and we had. So if we take out, I think Fred's going to be so important. I struggle to pick a team without Fred. I really struggle to pick a team without Fred. So I'm going to keep him in because what he does, what he offers, nobody else actually does. But if we put in James Garner as a defensive midfielder, you got De Jong, Fred, Ronaldo, let's say Sancho on the left, and no, actually I wouldn't. I'll call. Let me say Rashford on the left. Rashford on the left. It's potential. It's potential. The only issue we have to see, like, he was good. Ghana was very good for Nottingham Forest in the Championship. Premier League's a different level. So it's not, I couldn't say go into the season, yes, this is how we're going to go forward. But it's an option. If we're going to get I want Neves. I said it, I want Neves. I want Ruben Neves. He's so good. He's so good. And he even gives us more of like he can play that sixth position alone. And him and Frankie de Jong are both technical that they can dictate it together. If you put them as a pivot, even better. Like, it doesn't look like he's going for a defensive midfielder. We haven't heard much talk about defensive midfielder, which makes me think it would be a De Jong and Fred pivot. I think that's where he's going. If that's your only options, it's still risky because if one gets injured, I guess maybe you could go Donny and Fred, McTominay instead of Fred, James Garner is an option. De Jong is important. De Jong is important, and Donny's reintegration in the team is also going to be very key. Make sure you all like the video if you haven't done so already. Abi Manju says, hello, Neeks. I was skeptical about Murto, but if he recruits Martinez, De Jong, right winger and striker, we can say we had a decent or even a good transfer window. Unfortunately, we can't get a right back. Yeah, the right back thing is very unlikely at this stage. I think it's going to be, we've got one full. We can't do everything in one window. One fullback position. I won't say sorted, but it's been dealt with for now. Next time we do with the right back, which I'm cool with as long as we get a centre back in. So you got Martinez, De Jong, that's cool. A right winger and a striker. It won't be both. It'll be one or the other. If Ronaldo stays, it might not be either. If Ronaldo stays, we may not get a winger at all. If Ronaldo goes, it'll be one or the other. It won't be a winger and a striker. It'll be a winger or a striker. It might be Anthony. Skamaka was mentioned. Dybala was mentioned. Belotti was mentioned. It'll be one or the other if Ronaldo goes. Ronaldo and De Jong, our transfer window actually right now is pivoting on their decisions. Will they be at Manchester United in the summer? That's really it. Eriksen's in, Malacia's in. Martinez is a very, very high potential. That's free. That's free. De Jong will make it 4, and then it's about what Ronaldo does. I want 5. I want another midfielder, but we're going to have to wait and see. But guys, listen, it's been good to be back, man. I love chatting to you lot. I love the interactions. Thank you all for the interaction, the comments, the super chats from Factos. Thank you very much. And I'll be back. I will be back very, very soon. When that Eriksen deal is announced, we'll be back and we're going to talk about Eriksen. I'm going to delve a bit more deeper into Eriksen as an individual, unless there might be a few more updates with the likes of De Jong, Ronaldo, and Anthony. We can talk about that as well. But we talk about Eriksen, where he has played, his what he can offer, both open play and set pieces, and hopefully if there's any other progressions across the market. What I would say is the last thing to go is that at least we're on the board. We've got one signing over the line, done and dusted. Some teams, Tabby, who is out there trying to hijack they hijacked Arsenal for Rafinha to get hijacked by Barca. Tabby. Chelsea ain't made a signing yet. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you lot soon.